Hello, this is Mary Kay. I'm going to be painting Pillar Point Harbor in kind of the fog, and then I'm going to include the fluke of a whale that visited for 9 days. This was a juvenile whale that got into the inner harbor and was eating. There were tons of anchovies. There were all the pelicans, and the terns were all diving in. It was just been a feeding frenzy in Pillar Point for weeks, and this whale just decided to come in and just spend some time feeding. And everybody went to look at it, and everybody was really careful, and they stayed away from him. Her, it ended up being a female. They identified it as a female. They named her Pillar for Pillar Point Harbor. And last Saturday, she went out. The food got scarce and she went out. There were 2 whales that were outside the outer harbor that were waiting for her, and all 3 whales are gone now. So this is a picture I took when I was watching her. This is a picture I pulled off Facebook of the same whale and the flukes. And another thing about the whales is that the flukes are all very specific. You can tell a whale by its flukes. If you look carefully and see the coloring on them, you can identify the whales. So people who see whales in Alaska, then they go whale watching in Hawaii, they'll see the same whale flukes that they come to know. So this one's been registered as the Pillar Point Harbor whale visitor. And so what I did was I took this picture. I have a graphite, water-soluble graphite, and I put in the boats and the masts. Then I put the whale right there. Now it's looking a little low to me, a little high. I'm going to move it down when I get closer. Here's a little bookmark I did, just using quinacridone gold and French ultramarine blue. And then a tiny bit of neutral tint. And I think I'm going to try these colors. I've had enough gray this winter. I've had enough gray. So what I'm going to do is take my flat, and I'm going to wet right over all that stuff I painted. Hopefully I'll be able to see it just enough that I'm going to put it in really loosely. I'm going to really wet that fluke and get that out of there. I'm wetting the whole paper back and forth. I might be leaving some little spots of dry paper, which will be fine. So here I'm going to start with my quinacridone gold. This was a gift from Shar, so I wanted to try it out. It's not the old stuff. This is the new quinacridone gold. This is the PO 49, I think. And the old one, this is 48, and the really good old one that you can't buy anymore is 49. So see, so I'm just putting it all over. Now I'm going to take French ultramarine blue. I really wanted to see if French ultramarine blue made undersea green with this quinacridone gold, but it sort of makes this like a kind of a muddy green. So I'm going to put in this harbor in here. This is the inner harbor wall, and then actually behind it is the outer harbor wall. And I'm just putting it in loosely. So now I'm going to add more French to this and put in some shapes of boats. This is a working harbor. These are fishing boats. And I want to put up the masts, but I'm kind of thinking, I'm going to try this trick. This is a pencil. What happens if I just do this? Oh yeah, I like that. And then down this way, they're wavy. Okay, so there's a lot of masts. So the pencil is just taking that wet paint and making it go up. So anywhere I go up, then I'm going to go down at the same angle. So if I have an angle like that, then going down into the water, the angle is that way. And I am not painting all these in. What I'm doing is suggesting that there's boats with masts here rather than painting it full out. I kind of like this sort of abstract look to it. What I want to do now is just put this whale fluke in with some darker colors. I don't want to get my blow dryer out. I just am kind of dabbing this right here to sort of dry it off. I'm just going to put that whale fluke in right here. I'm going to use my pencil brush, my museum brush. This is approximately a round 10. So I'm using, this was, I just added, you can see, but this is the neutral tint. And I'm not going to trace this. I'm just going to look at this and just put it in right here, not in the center, just off center. And it might blur a little bit, but I'm going to let that be okay. So they have very distinct shape, these flukes. I'm just going to try to paint it. And this one comes over this way. I'm going to put a little bit of, actually what I did was I dried off my brush, and now I'm just going to lift a little bit here. And then using the paint that I've lifted into my brush, I'm going to make some reflections right here. I want those to be really vague though. And now what I'm going to do is really rinse out my brush and dip it into the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. And I'm going to put the little white water bubbles and foam that the whale tail made. And I'm going to try to splatter some. It's going everywhere except where I want it to. Well, maybe I'll like it. I always like my mistakes, so. Yeah, we're getting some splash now, by golly. Well, okay. I'm just gonna kind of go with it. Ooh! I didn't mean to make a black mark right there. Maybe that's a seal head. I'm just playing because I made those mistakes. So I'm trying to, like, oh, I didn't mean to make a mistake. I meant that there. Okay. You know what? I kind of like it just the way it is. It says we were in the inner harbor and the whale was there too. I'm going to stop. That's all I'm going to do.